Welcome to the Grey Havens Hour, where we step into the quiet corners of Middle-earth to uncover Tolkien's deeper truths. Today, we explore something rare and sacred. Because Tolkien did not write sorrow as something to avoid, but as something to honour. As he wrote at the end of The Lord of the Rings, "I will not say, do not weep, for not all tears are an evil." In this reflection, we journey through how Tolkien's own grief shaped Middle-earth, the role of mourning in Elvish and mortal cultures, how loss becomes memory, and why memory is healing, why tears accompany the end of every great chapter, and how Tolkien transforms sorrow into something strangely beautiful. This is not just about sadness, it's about a sacred sorrow, and why Tolkien believed it was good to grieve. Tolkien's world begins with beauty and betrayal. In the Ainulindalr, the music of Ainur creates the world, introduces discord, and yet Ilúvatar responds, "And thou, Melkor, shall see that no theme may be played that hath not its uttermost source in me, and in the end thyself shalt find that thou canst do nothing that hath not its uttermost end in my design." In other words, every sorrow has a place in the greater music. Even grief is not wasted. From the very beginning, Tolkien tells us beauty and loss are entwined. To understand Tolkien's grief, we must begin with his own. He lost his father at age 4. His mother died when he was 12. He fought in the mud and madness of World War I, losing close friends in the trenches of the Somme. They became mythical echoes woven into his writing. In his 5th letter, he says, "By 1918, all but one of my close friends were dead." When Frodo says he is wounded, and the wound will never truly heal, that is not fiction, that is Tolkien. Frodo wins the war, the ring is destroyed, but he cannot stay, because his wound is not just in the body, it's in the soul. And so he sails west, not in defeat, but in release. There is no real going back. Though I may come to the Shire, it will not be the same, for I shall not be the same. Frodo's tears are not weakness, they are truth. He carries the cost so others can heal. His grief is not the end, it is the price of love. Elves do not die of old age, but they grieve longer than any mortal can imagine. They remember everything, every loss, every joy, every name. Galadriel, when she sings of Lorien, knows it is already fading. All things must pass away. The world has changed. The elves' grief is not loud, it's quiet. It lingers in song, in silence, in the eyes of those who do not forget. Tolkien makes elves' sorrow not tragic, but beautiful. Tolkien often uses lament, poetry and song to express grief. After Gandalf's fall in Moria, Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli compose a song for him. Through Rohan over fen and field, where the long grass grows, the west wind comes walking, and about the walls it goes. Through Rohan over fen and field, where the long grass grows, the west wind comes walking, and about the walls it goes. Even in sorrow there is beauty. Even in mourning there is memory. And memory is a form of healing. Tolkien teaches us that to sing a sorrow is to honour it. Tolkien called our world a place of the long defeat. He didn't expect things to stay perfect. He didn't believe history was a tale of upward progress, but he believed in light breaking through. Even as the elves fade, even as Gondor declines, even as the Third Age ends, there is still hope, but not without cost. Tears are part of the journey, and that is not an evil. Gandalf, through the Maya, a divine being, often speaks with deep compassion. He comforts Pippin in the darkest hours before battle. The journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path, one that we all must take. He doesn't deny sorrow. He affirms it, and then opens the door beyond it. Tolkien's grief is never final. It is always leading towards light. Some of Tolkien's most powerful moments came at death. Boromir defends the hobbits, repents, and confesses with tears. I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king. Théoden, fallen in glory, is wept over by Eowyn and remembered with love. Tolkien doesn't shy away from death, but he never lets it be meaningless. Grief, in his world, is always woven with love. The end of The Lord of the Rings is not a grand triumph. It is farming, it is healing, it is saying goodbye, and then a white ship sails into the west. There is no final victory, only a bittersweet peace. And that's what makes the tears at the Grey Haven so powerful, because they are tears of completion, of truth, of acceptance. In letter 89, Tolkien writes, "There cannot be any story without a fall. All stories are ultimately about the fall." But in that fall, in that sorrow, there is a glimpse of something higher. Tolkien called it eucatastrophe, the sudden turn from despair to joy. He didn't avoid tears, he redeemed them. Thank you for listening to the Grey Havens Hour. If you've ever found beauty in sorrow or truth in tears, you're not alone. Because Tolkien understood something most stories miss. Grief is not the opposite of joy. It's what gives joy its weight. Subscribe for more voice-led journeys into Tolkien's quiet truths. And if this moved you, please like, comment and share. Until next time, may you find peace even in your parting.